So now I am joined by the talented Angel Dust. She is in the building. I don't know how I felt about that, but I know usually this is my favorite one that I like to play in here. So welcome to the studio. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing pretty great. I am so excited to actually have you in here. I think in the making, this has been a couple of months. I reached out to Angel, I think after her song Gotta Flex came out, and then I said I would love to have you in the studio, but of course, since we are college radio, it takes a little bit of time to work on those things and for us to return to school for that to happen, but I'm still glad to have you here.
Okay. I'm glad to be here.
Period. So,
yes.
How are you feeling today, first off?
I'm actually doing really, really good.
Good. I am so glad to hear that. We got you in the building. We got so much music to share and so many things to talk about as well. So, of course, we're going to first start out, and I think because of what could be considered controversial a little bit, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's controversial, but it's more so that thought of, well, hey, where did this come from? Where did the thought behind the name Angel Dust come from?
Here we go. We go into it?
Yes, we
go
are.
into it. All right. So when you hear the word Angel Dust, you think of something, not the drug.
Well, I want to say we don't think of the drug.
Wow. You think of something like really innocent and sweet.
Angel, yes.
Until you're around it a lot. Musically for me. And then my sound can become addictive. And you find it, repetitively playing in your mind. It's like, I need some more of this. Yes. Click Spotify, YouTube. Where's the music coming? It's coming.
Absolutely.
You just gotta wait to get your fix.
So you say that's pretty addicting. And I will say that, like, Gotta Flex is, like, when I heard, I said, okay, yes. And then that range there, I love the song. And it's something that I just think about. And then especially if you've watched social media and you've seen me post that little part of the song that plays on the stories, like, that part is just like, oh my goodness, I'll never forget it. It's just in my mind over and over and over again. So we're going to play that song for you guys. And you're going to hear the full version. Yes. And of course, let me know if you like it. Like I said, reach out to me at Marz on Media. Now, of course, I want to go ahead and start by asking, where did you start? So, and where, I guess, was this thought of, hey, I want to be a singer? And tell us a little bit about what you have done so far.
The thought of me being a singer came relatively early in my life, 4 years old. I remember not driving, on the school bus coming home, and I'm just singing this song, and the school driver, she's like, I didn't know you could sing. Me neither. But I like it. And I just remember telling myself, when I grow up, I'm either going to become a veterinarian or a singer.
Okay.
So, here I am.
Yes. And so then beyond this music, like, I guess you're in I would consider, like, Akron, Cleveland music scene, of course. What have been some things that you've done that you've enjoyed beyond just that studio work?
Like, really networking with other artists, sharing my craft with other artists that are different from me. We can still be in the same lane, but we all have our own sense of self. Definitely performing. It was a film festival around All-Star Weekend in February, where I got to see a whole lot of different artists from all over. I didn't even know some of these people existed. Got to see how they put their spin on their visuals, So just seeing that and people in their vulnerable stage, sharing what they've done in that realm, it's like, this is amazing. Yeah. I feel like networking and really learning more about other artists is really like that's my little cup of joy.
Absolutely. And that is great to hear because yes. I know for me, we don't have often, like, you do see, like, all these people on TV, reporters and things like that, but you never get to, pick their brain and have those moments to be close to them. And sometimes with artists outside of a show, you don't really have that time either. So that networking really is important to have people around you who do what you do and can understand as well. So what have been, I guess, some of your proudest moments that you've had as a singer as your star continues to grow?
My proudest moment was when Bistro Kid said that my song This Should Be Us got placement last year in December. That was something I've never thought would happen right now since I rebranded and am rebranding. I was like, oh my gosh, look at me, Little Miss Star on the rise. That was I was speechless, like, for a whole month. I was like, not me.
Do you know where that song went?
So it went on their, they have different Spotify playlists. And I didn't know, like, my song was submitted to be put into that playlist. It was for R&B last year in December. And I just received an email, I think it was December 10th or December 11th, saying that This Should Be Us have received placement on their R&B playlist. And I'm like, you better shut the front door, open it back up, and shut it again.
I'm dead. Oh my goodness. Well, I think this is great because, of course, we do have This Should Be Us.
Yes.
So I'm gonna play that really quickly. Of course, we have so much more still to talk about, but of course, we come here to make sense of the music. Yes. So we're gonna do that really quickly. So if you don't mind introducing this song for us.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Angel Dust, and what y'all about to get into right now is my song This Should Be Us.
That was This Should Be Us by Angel Dust. Oh my goodness, and that is really a great song.
Thank
and
you.
It's a great arrangement as well. So is that like all, is that all you in the studio writing and?
All me.
Oh my goodness. So what was the inspiration behind that? Let's make sense of it.
Okay, pick my brain, yeah. Okay, so behind that, I was going through a little bit of a rough patch with somebody I used to be with, and I was just really over it, you know. I could be this person, this could have been us, but it's not us. But I just want you to know that it will never be us. So that was really just allowing what I went through with this person to influence
art.
Such art, masterpiece.
Period.
That's where it comes from.
And so then I guess who is this rapper on the song? And I guess what was that dynamic? Of course, he fit the song very well. And I guess where was he speaking from? And then of course, like I said, who is he?
That is my homie Ronnie Eric. Shout out to him. He is extremely talented. Extremely talented. So he was really basically feeding off of my verse. We've had so many talks about, well, what else did you go in this relationship? How else was this guy treating you? Like, what is something that he would say? What is it? So he was really feeding off of the song and talks that we've had just to ensure that everything flows well and that we sound very good on that track.
Absolutely. I think sometimes that is what you do miss a lot of times in certain tracks is that you'll say, hey, well, maybe I can fit a feature or place you on a feature, right, but that your verse may sonically sound completely different from what the song is going for. And I think that's what the generation we're in now, because music is so quickly consumed, we're not getting those quality remixes that really stand out. And I guess, can you speak to that at all? And of course, you're a consumer of music yourself.
So I like to listen to music remixes or just originals that I can feel, whether I felt this before, but I just really want to understand, how you're feeling. And I feel like it's really important to me as an artist to tell a story, because that's how you maintain your audience, and that's how you grow a bigger audience, and that's really how you find other connections and stuff too. So I really feel like, if you're going to remix a song or if you're going to just do an original, you have to put your oomph in it, because at the end of the day, yes, you are being vulnerable with yourself, you're being vulnerable with other people, but you want to make sure while you're being vulnerable that it's beneficial, so you reap everything that you're sowing into it. So
absolutely. And then that takes me into another tangent, of course, of reaping what we sow.
Okay.
So you're a parent.
Yeah.
And you're an artist.
Yeah.
Now we see in this generation, we have these millennial mommies who are out here doing the music thing, doing the mommy thing. And how has that been on your journey as an artist?
It's definitely building character.
Absolutely.
It's definitely building character. It's you I feel like I'm so many different people. I have to show up as mommy, then I have to show up as Angel for myself, and then I have to show up as Angel Does. Depending on the event and the situation, I will allow my kids to see me as Angel Does. And in those events, it just fills my heart. Like right now, it just fills my heart right now. Seeing them sing my songs or doing exactly what I do in the studio, or mommy, you remember when I did this on the piano? It just really fills my heart. Like, that it just builds character for the good and for the bad. And you just never know. You might just be feeding them something that's going to influence them in other ways. Maybe it is music or maybe it's something else, but you're still giving them that exposure.
Absolutely.
So, I'm about to cry.
Yes. Oh my goodness, but I love that so much because it is so important because you are handling it and you're here.
Thank you.
And so, that's great that you are here. And then, of course, now I did talk about Nicki Minaj, a Mamiana, Cardi B, a Mamiana. Yeah. So many mommies out here who are working and even local artists, because you are in that local scene here in Cleveland, Akron, even I would say branching out to Kent. We do have, I guess, considering R&B, I guess, who inspires you, before I go into this next question, who inspires you on a mainstream level?
It would definitely be Jhené Aiko and Beyonce.
Absolutely.
Mainstream.
And just how poised you are is like very Beyonce.
Oh, I think that's a compliment. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Those two women, just women, and also how they, conduct themselves as artists, that's just gold for me. You can just see them. It's so easy to feed into what is negative.
Absolutely.
Instead of allowing yourself to grow from those negative things. Because I know there's so many things that Beyonce was involved in, is now involved in now, and just seeing her just move with such grace and still reap them coins, get those coins from her music, because she's that woman, and handle everything with such grace. And then same thing for Jhené Aiko. She has her fair share of her mental health. When it can be good, it can be bad, and she doesn't allow that to influence how she's going to show it for herself, show it for her kid, and show it for us as listeners and also as people who are studying her. So I love those women. If I meet them, I might just die.
Absolutely. Me too, for real. Well, Beyonce for sure.
Okay.
Now, how do you feel about the music scene locally? I guess we were just talking about this whole, and I think when we say inspiration and how people handle their business and through what they have going on, there is a certain respect, and you have to show up for yourself, but not show up for yourself so much more to where you're like, let me call this person out, let me be this type of person. But we see that here, and I feel like what we do know now, like I said earlier, rap is that #1 genre, and it feels almost like in this scene, who is seen now are the female rappers. And so I guess in this scene, do you feel supported as an R&B singer compared to the rap stars who are out here getting their verified checks, getting these shows, and really, I mean, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily, well, they were obscure at a point, and then all of a sudden it's just this instant kind of gratification that they get. And so much to that point to where they're calling other mainstream artists out.
I'm definitely going to say that with the lane that I am in, I support myself. In order to get that support from others, I have to show up for myself. So if people, fans, potential fans, artists that want to rock with me and collab, or just starting off or still feel inspired by me, they can only do that if they see me showing up for me. So I definitely feel supported. I feel loved, and I feel like I am heard out here with or without, other people, because I show it for myself first. So, and all the others, that are out here doing their thing, rapping, throwing shots at other artists, that's their business.
Absolutely.
That's their
Absolutely.
business.
But I also think, and this is just from a journalist's perspective, that there has to be a humbleness that you have to consider. And then, of course, not that of course, this is on camera, obviously, this is going on YouTube, but even when you consider stuff like what the big Indo Lotto situation is, what It's Given, and then not considering, even with that one word, that is still appropriated gay culture first. So it's giving our word that you took for your song, her song, and then we're saying, hey, let me call you out for similarities, but then also to where if we sit down in an interview and we talk about and make sense of this track, is the homage going to be there? Because, of course, with that fact that rap is coming out, you got a blue verified check and you're blowing up so quickly. Are you so quickly deserving of acclaim just because people can see you more because of, I guess, whatever push you have from these people,
Yeah.
And there's a mindfulness. And I think also, I'm going to play a song from another artist. You have to think about this in the music industry as well. In real radio, we're talking about FM, mainstream. There is no pay-to-play game. It is only based in talent. Now, they talk about payola and things like that, but also is that you still have to get across somebody's ear to say, this sounds good. Now, we have shows a lot of times where people are like, oh, well, I just need $20 and I'll put you on here. You can do a 10-minute set. But you have to think of those people as well as saying, like, hey, do they truly believe in my art, or do they just want my money?
Right.
And I think a lot of times, you know, even in this setting of being like a new personality who's trying to emerge, is that I'm trying to get into the same industry that you are, and I have some type of expertise to know, well, hey, this might be trash. Or I might know to say, hey, you are a great talent. Come and be on my show. I'm not charging you 30, 40, 50, hundreds of dollars. It's an opportunity for you to gain exposure and for me to work on my skills. And I think a lot of artists need to think about that. Like what she's saying is to be accountable for yourself and show up for yourself, because when people can see that you have a track record of good work, that people are, you're sought after. Let me say that. That's better wording. That you are sought after by the public, then of course other people are going to want you.
Okay.
So, you know, we're there. So always think about that, and think also of this as well, as that critical feedback that you get. Even me as a journalist, I also am a reporter as well. There are people, my professors, of course, who have been in the business, so they're telling me, hey, your writing may not be all this great, your camera shots may not all be this great, but it's not where I want to make an argument of why it is great, is that I want to work on it, so that way they can say, hey, you've gotten so much better, and you're deserving of everything that is to come. So I think that's where Angel Dust is. She's been growing, she's a talent, and of course, we're going to give her flowers on this show today. Now, you got a new sound that you're working on now.
Yes.
We're going to hopefully hear some music, but we're playing some music, as you can see. So, you know, we got some more stuff coming. So, I guess, what can fans expect to hear with his new sound?
So, I can't go too much into it right now because it's still in the beginning phases. But I am excited to take you on this journey with me. It's just gonna be it. It's just gonna be it. I'm excited even thinking about it, and I'm not even at the finish line just yet. All of which I have accomplished right now. Different people I have collaborated with in the industry already that we already listened to. It's y'all in for a blessing, okay?
Yeah.
Y'all are in for some blessings, okay?
So then I guess if you can say what is different about this new era, can you give us like a little bit, like a short and sweet, like what is different for you? And I guess even in this realm of your life now.
I would say with my music that I've released previously, it was all within one genre. Now that I am opening myself up to different sounds, it's helping me, you know, use different range that I didn't know that I had, or that I knew that was there, but I was just suppressing that just to fit this one genre that I was always used to. So that's a difference for me, because, you know, as artists, we're already comfortable. We know who we are. We know what works for us and stuff like that. But when God's giving you an opportunity to expand, and you got to open that door, because how else are you going to get your opportunity if God's handing it to you? So certain things are going to make you uncomfortable, but while that's making you uncomfortable, you're still gaining some things that it's going to build your character, and that's also going to build your bank. So
absolutely,
I'm in for it.
And yeah, see, now that's perfect, because then this is the perfect segue into this new song, because of course that was a flex, okay? And so we want to get into this new song, or it's not, well, I guess you could say it's not even a year.
It's not even a year.
So it's only, we say months. And so we want to keep pushing this, and we want you guys to hear it, because it's a great song. So can you introduce this song for us?
Listen, everybody out there, I need y'all to turn y'all radios up.
Turn them up.
If you're tuning in from your phone, you better turn it up to its maximum capacity.
Set it on the Bluetooth.
All right, on the Bluetooth, anywhere. Go in your bathroom. The acoustics are nice in there. This song is called "Gotta Flex," and I can't wait for y'all to listen to it.
That was Gotta Flex by Angel Dust. Now, of course, as we do what we do, we will make sense of this song. So tell us about it. Now, on off air, she was saying that it took a lot for her to do this song. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm used to doing things that showcases like my falsetto, really soft music. This was the first song stepping out of that phase in my career, just doing something based off of what I think about all the time and just translated that into music. When I first found the beat, and I was like, I could never. I could never do something like this. I could never. And I remember going to my first studio session just scared because just like I have all these thoughts and my thoughts are valid. I got to make sure that my voice match. So it's just like, you better sound like you ready to fight, or you better not just even touch it at all. Like, you've been through so much. Like, you've been through so much. It's not fair to you to continue to suppress yourself for the betterment of others when your life is still going on.
And you're deserving.
And I'm deserving of that. So that was really what the song was about, just really calling myself out and calling out those other situations and people who took advantage of who I was back then, and allowing myself to give that part of myself to them, which led me to create that song. So my flex is that I'm still here. I'm still alive because I life is hard, you know. Let's just start there.
I understand.
You know,
I definitely understand.
Life is hard. I'm raising my kids, and I'm still doing my music, and I'm farther than what I've ever thought I would be. And so that is my
who
flex.
I've worked with personally, you're a lot farther than them too. So
that's none of my business.
And that's right. No shade, and we're not throwing no shade. We're not creating no drama, but it does take a lot to be an artist and to continue on being independent. Studio is a lot of money to go in because you have to invest in yourself when you're independent to start out. You have to invest in yourself. On top of that, like I said, music is now becoming that pay to play game. Yeah. So even if I am a super talented artist, ultimately what some other people, promoters and different people out here who feel like they are moving the culture forward, and not to say that they are not, but they want money in order to do that, because of course they have to make a living as well, which is not wrong, but then it's also to say that, not to say that no one is deserving who does not have talent, but they're not being constructive enough to say, hey, well, you still may have some work to do, and then also they're not looking to necessarily give those who are really talented their proper footing and proper flowers as well. So, because it's just a money game.
Right.
So we always have to think about that. Now, a few more questions, because of course we're going to have to wrap this thing up, but I do want to thank you so much for coming to the studio as well. And we still have so much more music and things like that. Now, how do you feel about the current state of R&B? Of course, we had Diddy come out with this whole long conversation saying that R&B is dead. But personally, I don't feel like it is. There's countless artists who are mainstream and independent who you could listen to. Will play a great song by another artist who's out on tour right now. And yeah, how do you feel about the state of R&B?
I feel like R&B music itself is always forever changing, depending on the society and where people's thoughts are. R&B is not dead. It's just a matter of who you give your attention to. Absolutely. There's a lot of amazing artists that are, unfortunately, are not mainstream, but they are bringing that. Yes. They're bringing that. It's just really a matter of us as a society, who and what we give our attention to. You're going to this R&B artist because she fits the mold, because her body is this, and she talks about this, and she sings like this, whereas if you don't take, a little step to the left, you see this one who embodies everything what R&B is, but you're not going to cater to this person, this woman, this man, because she does not fit how a R&B artist in 2022 should look like, sound like, and what they talk like. And that's the thing, is that an artist in 2022 should be diverse, because we are now in a world where things are more diverse. Even Lizzo just recently spoke out in an interview saying that she doesn't understand why people say that she makes music for white audiences. And personally, I wasn't really checking for Lizzo at first. I was not. Now I am. I am, because she's speaking to her black experience, but not only that, but you have to think that there's this nostalgia coming back with not necessarily that whole piece where people are sampling a lot of previous songs, but that there are genres that are now like funk and soul that are being sung and performed in different ways to where they can be considered R&B, and that's what she's doing. It just may be a little bit more upbeat, but of course,
there's diversity. So you should be looking to say, well, hey, even if this person does not fit what the typical mode is, they have a sound that I enjoy.
Exactly.
And I think what we find in Angel Dust's music is that there's a diversity. You can see from the song that we played first, This Should Be Us, to Gotta Flex, they're two completely different songs. Yes. Different ranges, different rhyme scheme, different arrangements. You can just tell. Even that ending of This Could Be Us just really caught my ear so much. Yes. And it was just like, this is what music should be in 2022.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Be mindful and, get that palette full of beautiful art from different artists. It's very important.
Absolutely.
Now, talk to me about what makes you, I guess, feel proud right now with music in your process these days. And I guess also what you may be doing different than what you were before.
Definitely more consistent. Not saying that I wasn't before, but due to lack of what needs to be done as an R&B artist.
And what was that?
Different places you have to go to. If you want to be known as this, you have to show up to this open mic or to this interview, or you have to go out to support your local artists. You have to take some time out your day to study those that you look up to see how are they able to elevate in their success. What are they doing that you could probably model in your career? You have to be not only like your own tough critic, but you have to listen to those who are obviously on a higher pedestal than you, because they didn't get there just because they're just listening to their own conscience.
Absolutely.
You have to allow yourself to be humble enough to know that you don't know much
or everything
to take in the necessary advice so you can get there.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's a common issue with artists, not just in Cleveland, but just anywhere. Because a lot of people that I know in the industry, or I'm not that too familiar with, they're good. Mm-hmm. They're good. They're great. I've listened to them. I got them saved on my playlist. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that we all share is that we're not receptive enough until life happens, and then now you want to listen, but you might have missed out on opportunities and stuff like that, Mm-hmm. So you just got to allow yourself to be comfortable with being uncomfortable to get to where you need to be, so then you can talk your mess, and then you can pass the baton down to other people who are looking up to you. So
absolutely. Oh, and this has been a phenomenal interview, guys. Phenomenal. And I hope that everybody out there in the radio world, I'll say that, has been listening and is just excited. So, of course, before we head out and we close out this interview, I want to just know if there is anything else that you want to tell the listeners out there, what they can expect, what will be new now and next for Angel Dust, and then also where they can find you on social media.
Okay, so first things first. Everybody out there, I'm in the rebranding stage. Again, everything is relatively new, but I am looking to give you all that know me on a music level, personal level, or just becoming to get familiar with who I am, an experience to live for, and to tell your friends. So that look out for that in a couple of months here. Y'all can find me on all major music platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Tidal. Just search me up, Angel Dust, or click the link in my bio if y'all got my Instagram handles.
But if they don't?
If they don't now, my Instagram is...
Listen closely, which this may need to be rebranded too. So
you better stop. You said you wasn't throwing no shade.
No, it's no shade. It's no shade. But we gonna talk about the marketing, because we want to see people make sure they find her. Okay, we want y'all to be clicking this follow button. Okay, 1,000,001 times.
A million and one times. So you better do it that last one time with that 1,000,000. All right. So my Instagram is Angel Dust. That's ANGELLL. Those are 3 L's. LLL_DUSSTT. You can follow my music page, and that's Angel Dust. That's all one word, capital ANGEL, capital DUST.
Absolutely. And I definitely want to thank you so much for stepping into the BSR studio. This is since the final season, and I'm just so excited to have wonderful, talented guests. And anytime you listen to BSR, you may hear that this could be us. And you may also hear Gotta Flex. So I'm definitely thankful that you did go ahead and stop in today.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again, but maybe on a larger scale or at a show. Make sure you follow me at Marz on Media. Follow us at Black Squirrel Radio on Instagram, BSR Kent on Twitter, and Black Squirrel Radio on Facebook. Right now, we're going to go back into some music.